today we're going to stick with our topic of reading the scriptures all the way through for yourself and the importance of obeying the commandments. And really, those are the only two topics. You know, salvation or what the Most High regards is not a group effort, right? You're accountable for yourself. So the whole idea of hoping somebody else reads it for you and presents it to you, and you putting your whole life on the line based on what somebody else is teaching you, is not rational to me, right? When we read the scriptures, you know that you're going to be responsible for yourself. Every man is going to have to give an account of his own actions. You're not going to be able to point out to somebody else and say, well, he showed me this. So it's really important that you read the scriptures for yourself. And because I see a lot of people teaching a lot of different things out there, and I'm not trying to make videos against anybody or say what they're saying is right and wrong. But the idea is that everybody has to be accountable for themselves. So looking at somebody because they happen to be charismatic, right? All the leaders of almost every organization that I see now is these charismatic people, and it's easy to be swayed by them because one, you know, they have a personality. Two, they've been at it for years. So over the years, even though they may not have been good at it at first, but through practice and just, you know, time has passed where an experience where they really speak well, and they're able to convince people of what they're saying is right. And you in your own mind are unable to determine what they're saying is right if you have not read it for yourself, right? If you look who the Most High chose as leaders, they were neither charismatic nor spoke well, right? Moses did not speak well. David and Saul were chosen to be kings of Israel, but they were meek and humble people. Moses was also a humble person. But the leaders today that I see, all, you know, I don't care what organization you see, they are, you know, most of them are slick and very persuasive. And you don't want to put your soul on the line based on their speeches, right? So we're going to read some scriptures today and sort of go over what the Most High looks at, and the expectation is that you're going to read the scriptures all the way through for yourself. So let's read 1 Samuel 9:21. And Saul answered and said, Am I not a Benjamite, of the smallest of the tribes of Israel, and my family the least of all the families of the tribe of Benjamin? Wherefore thou speakest to me? So Saul was chosen to become king over all the 12 tribes of Israel. But in his mind, that was not even a possibility. In his mind, he was little, right? And the Most High exalted him. Let's read 1 Samuel 15:17. And Samuel said, When thou was little in thine own sight, was thou not made head of the tribes of Israel? And the Most High anointed thee king over Israel. And at this point, Saul had displeased the Most High. And Samuel is reminding him that when the Most High chose him, he was little in his own sight. Like, he didn't think much of himself. And that same humility is why the Most High chose him, but he became proud. The same humility he did not maintain, though the kingdom was ripped from him. This is Exodus 4:10. And Moses said to the Most High, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am of slow speech and a slow tongue. Moses was chosen to lead Israel out of captivity, but he knew he was going to have to speak to crowds, and he was not prepared to do so. And he had already known that he was not a good speaker, right? And he didn't think he was worthy of the position. And those are the people who, when you look through history, who the Most High chose to be leaders. Now, of course, the kings of the kings of Judah after that may not have been humble, but they were chosen to be kings over Israel because of the promise that the Most High made to David, not because of their humility. But the Most High looks on humility to exalt you. But today's leaders are all good speakers, and they're all very polished, right? But there's no humility there. 1 Chronicles 17:7. Now therefore thus shalt thou say unto my servant David, Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, even following the sheep, that thou shouldst be ruler over my people Israel. So we see that the Most High chose David to be king over all 12 tribes of Israel when he was just a sheep herder. What was David's career path to be king? There was none. But the Most High looks on people who are humble and don't think much of themselves. And those are the people he chooses to exalt. But the leaders today are all polished, well-spoken, proud people, right? And many of them don't possess any of the qualities that the Most High, we see in the past, chose to be leaders. So we have to be very careful who we listen to. And the only way to know what somebody is saying is right or wrong is based on what we know and what we've read and comparing it to what the Most High has said. And so that's the importance of reading the scriptures for yourself. And this is Revelation 10:9. This is John. He's on the island of Patmos, and the angel is speaking to him. Revelation 10:9. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall be in thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. Verse 10. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand, and I ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, it was in my belly bitter. Verse 11. And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many people, nation, and tongues, and kings. Right? So the first step, what John had to do, was to eat the entire book, not tear pages out, not, pull out words. Right? He had to eat the entire book before he went to prophesy and to talk to other people. How can you go and talk to people about something that is incomplete? This is Ezekiel chapter 3, 1-4. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go and speak to the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go and get thee to the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. This is the same thing that was told to John, right? I mean, Ezekiel is before John, but we see that the Most High is consistent. You have to eat the entire roll, eat the book, all the words, speak all the Most High's words. Not your words, not what you think, but only the Most High's words. How are you going to speak that if you haven't read it? You're just going to repeat what somebody else said to you. That's not going to work. You have to read the book. Give it the same energy that we've given other things. You have to eat before you go to the house of Israel. Right? And we see that John and Ezekiel had the same problem, right? It was sweet in his mouth, but when he had to go and speak to the house of Israel, things don't work out the way we would like them to. But nonetheless, we have to obey the Most High and not worry about the end result. So lastly, we're going to read Jeremiah 15, 16, 17, and 18. It says, Thy words were found, and I did eat them. And thy word was unto me the joy and the rejoicing of my heart. For I am called by thy name, Most High of hosts. I sat not in the assembly of the mockers, nor rejoiced. I sat alone because of thy hand, for thou hast filled me with indignation. Why is my pain perpetual, and my wound incurable, which refused to be healed? Will you be altogether to me as a liar, and as waters that fail? Right? So all these verses have way more levels than what I'm going over here. I mean, there's 30 different directions that we can go with a lot of these verses. But what we're talking about here is eating the Most High's words. And we see that prophets had to do that. Can't take 3 verses and go running. Right? And we just repeat what other people said. He said, Thy words were found, and I did eat them. And they were to me the joy and the rejoicing of my heart. John said they were sweet. Ezekiel said they were sweet. The same thing. But you see, the words, because if you read all these words, it's going to isolate you. Because other people refuse to do it. So the question is whether you're going to do what few are willing to do. Right? Which is to eat the whole book, the whole roll, all the words. And if you do that, you'll be a friend of the Most High, but it will isolate you from people. Right? So sweet in your mouth and bitter in your stomach. To conclude, we don't put our trust in people. We trust in the Most High. Right? We're going to put our life in our own hands and not have some agent read the book for us and hope they tell us what it actually says. Right?